as we see here with the 100 Thieves in NRG, our last match of today.
Yeah, 100 Thieves versus NRG Shock. This ought to be a good one to close it out on day one. Please, guys, take it away.
All right.
All right. Let's do it, Cozy. We're here back together again with 100 Thieves. Back together as well, because when you talk about that Vanguard lineup, that's a Vanguard lineup that has a lot of experience playing together between TTK and Vinny. And I like to see if TTK has also been able to be flexible, because I'm already looking at him going over to the thing. It's a double gambit ban on both sides, but it's NRG who do manage to get the Elsa Protect first.
Yeah, excited to see these two teams clash, Vic. I mean, a lot of players that I'm just close to, and I remember giving hugs all around Atlanta, telling 100 Thieves that there's always next year. But then same goes with a lot of these players down here on NRG. Gambit being banned, Elsa save first. We already know that is going to give NRG a different look as they approach this first bit of the point. Mantis being banned out. We've kind of seen how triple strat has gone today, and I haven't loved it. So that Mantis ban early is obviously something they want to do to slow down what Velocity has cooked up for the team. But for the first time today, Vic, we have two Elsas.
Okay, all right. So it's going to be the Elsa v Elsa duel. And I like this because it's usually like, okay, is it going to be really like the server admin Elsa, since we are playing on the patch that did not come out yesterday, the previous patch right before that, just for anybody tuning in, making sure you're wondering, oh, why does Elsa still have that extra HP? Well, that's why, as the Mantis ban comes out next. And that kind of forces things out, right? Because they see the Elsa Protect, and they don't want a damage boosted Elsa to get away with everything.
This is such a Cerebro level, a big brain picking bands, and probably some of my favorite out of what we've seen today with both 100 Thieves, iRemix, shout out to the GOAT over there, and what Velocity and Co have cooked up as well. But looking at it, so the Mantis double ban is kind of closing to be similar things. Funny enough, when Angela was nerfed in the recent patch, I even called out TTK, and I'm like, I wonder how TTK is going to adjust to what was, a lot of Angela play lately. Well, there's a little bit of an answer with the save going on to Angela, the one-wing angel. Last save ready to go, Vic. Who do you think we see? Okay.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's going to be the tank pool, looks like, here from NRG. Because I was going to say, like, another lineup to look at is how the duelists are going to fare against each other. We talked a lot about Self. We talk about the flexibility that we've seen from Delena, too. And as the final ban comes out, it looks like the double Elsa, Angela, and the tank pool are saved up. A lot of focus on the strategist for NRG Shock, though. So it's going to be a little difficult here. Hopefully that backline will be able to stay up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And see what they are going to end up adjusting to. Right now, they're just aura flexing. You can see everybody just wanting to rep their favorite animated icons. Legitimately would not expect anything less from some of those players down there from NRG. And then you have Window just chilling on the Vanguard Deadpool, showing what he's got. But Stinkers locking in the Elsa. That's what I expected there with the save that they had on early. Everybody to follow suit. Wrinkle might show a bit of the white sauce. And there's, okay, we do have a little bit of swaps going on. So I'm going to go and take over that Elsa instead. And on the 100 Thieves side, we got the Self on Wolf, which, Vicky, I mean, Self can play a crazy Hawkeye, a crazy, obviously, Panther, as we said. But Wolverine was in that rotation.
Yes, he was. And that's why I was talking about, like, just Self also leaning into those strengths. When I was taking a look at the meta and how these teams are going to play it out, and especially finding out that they weren't going to be playing out on that most recent patch, I knew that Self, it's not the BP, he doesn't even have to roll out with it, right? It's no target ban here because he's got an insane Wolverine. And you can expect that when you see Window being able to have that tank pool available for him, as well as Madara, who usually we've seen on the Emma taking some hits herself, going over to the Venom.
What a wink to Terra as well, because that was his best hero. It's like Self filling the shoes, having the wolf. Come on now. This is still the same old 100 Thieves. Stinkers is ready as the lawyer, looking in this back line early. Going to go ahead and hunt, go way back behind the port here and see what they can find. I'm going to get some early poke damage as TTK is up in the sky early as that one-wing angel was called out before. Vinny has added Venom to his plethora of Vanguards and continues to find success. But right now, Caught in a Pickle doesn't find any exit and quickly finds elimination. Now, 100 Thieves down too early.
Where was he supposed to go? He was stuck in the Beyblade and spinning around before he could try to get away, and they find that as that first pick, although they do trade that off. But look who found them. NRG are going to be able to take that point first, it looks like, before Window takes that quick selfie. But it's a reset for 100 Thieves and a great dominating way for NRG to make a statement.
Yeah, what an opening right there, and especially Window getting close to that ult yet again. TTK and Vinny got to lock in here and be in one step. 100 Thieves, so we've pointed this out before. I was actually talking with Shiv about this, is they're a little slow out the gates. And we've seen that not only in matches, but also like in complete preseason sometimes. And then they kind of come into form later when they need to clutch up. But we'll see if that continues with this new Thieves team now. And the quick ult window going to throw on the back line. 2 White Fox involved if you're a fan of the new strategist. TTK goes down yet again there. Struggling in the Vanguard line, but Self and Vinny find success. Now it's going to be 5v4. See if they can capitalize on it. Not really rotating into point pressure-wise. Maybe to see if TTK can get back to help. They got the Glartrox ready, though, Vic. Oh.
And they released it already, looking at the point before bouncing over to the side of the walls. It makes you wonder, for 100 Thieves, was this Angela safe worth it? Because TTK is having a bad time. That's the back-to-back 3 KO onto TTK alone. They focus down on him. Delena at least tries to answer back, finds Chime, but NRG already reaching that 50% mark before 100 Thieves were able to finally flip it back in their favor just 10% ago. Vinny survived with like 1 HP before popping the armor, and no one's looking at Winnie just yet. Beast of the Abyss is now going to target this backline. They try to delete him beforehand. A kidnap to make sure that there's PO for the backline. Welcome to the self-show over to the side room, and Renko answers back to find Millennia on the trade-off.
What game are we watching? I just saw 2 monsters up at once. Ninetales beat Ninetales. That was perfect timing. As now diving in, Vinny finds success in the backline. And this is just like what we saw in the Lunex game, that they were able to get the point early, so this fight was helping them a bit more with 34% in climbing, 54 back on over to NRG. And boys, it's fun to see Delena back in action. Him and Vinny picking up right where they left off last year with yet another pick and a quick melee there, trying to get out that self-sustain. Speaking of self, is the one that does the period on the end of that sentence. 40% up. 100 Thieves now back in the point and in control. They have 2 ults to go to match probably 2 similar ones. This will be interesting.
Trying to see if they can get a one combo with Delena already, getting close to another Apex Predator, shining on this roll before we see another kidnap. Where can you go? Absolutely nowhere. TTK was also right there as the insurance policy just in case, but that's another one out for NRG. They're scattered a bit before trying to back away, and I don't think they really have anywhere to go. A nice freeze onto Vinny, but guess what? Delena is set up for shop uncontested.
Oh, and that is really just setting them up perfect to T-ball and home run this ball, because now they're going to be able to build up the rest of these ults. You got the Lino with the Glartrox. They're kind of matching a bit of what NRG has, if being fair. Both Winnie and Rinko right on top on the Ninetales there in the ult charge department. In fact, if you look across the board, very close either way. We'll see what Window does here. Keep eyes on Window, because they can get early pressure to make it tough for 100 Thieves to win this kind of fair fight.
Well, the Heavens have to reach him. You want to get these follow-ups, though. Delays it just a little bit because the Glartrox is out, and he is hungry. You try to survive if you're Velocity, but there's not much you can do. With Renko going down, you let the Devil out. You try to even this out here, too. You close in the gap. The Millennials right there with the dance-off to keep everybody from 100 Thieves alive.
Woo. Yeah, finishes, it has both shows going at the same time, but this is what I was saying with the setup and the home run before. Just the way the rotations happen, winning that neutral fight early benefited so much. Delena with a demon on to Hela, and back now in form of the Monster Hunter in Elsa, showing what they can do. Portal coming out, body blocks ready. They do touch, which is huge as Delena takes down the Venom. Now staggering in for survival, Vicky. It's coming down the last minute. Berserker Rage up and down, taking out the point, but still on. Winnie gets a pig. Vicky, this is coming down to the seconds.
Look at Delena! Somebody look at Delena, who is just getting away with mowing down NRG. Like, the moment Delena was able to set up, that was it. Like, that was a nail in the coffin, because if you tell me that you're dealing with Delena, who gets Elsa for free, no Elsa ban, I mean, you're just gonna have to deal with the onslaught of damage from the other side.
And that was fun. I mean, we got to see what we wanted to see out of the newcomers in both Self and Winnie, right, on this team, but then also the core 4 of this 100 Thieves that we've just known and appreciated here in Ignite early and often. NRG Shock, though, we told you they'd have a lot of talent all together. Seeing what they've got, you know, I think right now their opening fight was extremely well done, but 100 Thieves is on the ready for the Glartrox. Both times able to burn down very quickly NRG is looking to do the same.
Good awareness and following up too from Vinny. Clutch moments on getting those antis as well. See the POVS just being a potty mouth. I just love this character inclusion in this game. He's so accurate to what he is, but it always cracks me up. I'm never over it as we come out of the gates. Will it be enough though going into this if we see some of these changes here, Cozy?
Yeah, I think Self and the Kidnaps have been absolutely huge for the team as well, and been able to really benefit off that just to separate a lot of the aggression early. TTK up in the skies. We've seen a lot of Angel play today, but not exactly to huge success. But if one man can show it, it is the TTK himself. Plenty in here in the backline as the Luna. People might be shocked at the Luna play, but not a ton of options here to play in the strategist department. Either way, Delena going to go ahead and pop up. Get that early poke pressure. Glartrox is moments away. There's a quick teleport to keep them alive and healthy. They continue to farm up. Now they're ready, Vic.
Look how sneaky Self was trying to be, but they call out on Millennia from the hands of Velocity. That's a big pick, but Winnie's right there, submitting the Ninetales like you mentioned, and Delena is feasting like it is a buffet, unstoppable to help back and help heal for the backline too, while doing so much damage.
I gotta catch them all. I mean, he did. I mean, it's all four right there quickly, as Delena is showing why he can easily be the anchor in this duelist that he's been for 100 Thieves. Look back up. NRG Shock has 3 ults that they can make a difference with, and I actually like what they've got available. Keep your eyes out on Chime and his positioning, where they can go with it now. Window continuing to farm where they got. Vic, you're right. I mean, what would be the difference that NRG's got to do to try to get something rolling for this team?
Harass Delena right now, and I think that's exactly why they're doing this swap up, because they go over to the Daredevil, and guess who's the first person Sneakers is looking at? It's Delena. And then you follow up with Velocity saying that they have had enough. They find 2 onto 100 Thieves. They really only had Millennia for that sustainability, and Millennia, unfortunately, does not have that Dance Revolution, and Chime now follows up to find Vinny, so with no sustainability, Millennia comes right back around because NRG haven't been able to flip it. Beautiful stall now coming in from 100 Thieves. This is huge.
Yeah, I was going to say, wow, what an aggressive approach, but if they didn't cap, you might as well. They are backing out here, and they do end up finishing, but you know what? Every tick matters. Obviously, might want to have that one back. Was it worth the extra 4%? Not sure, but either way, do love the approach, and this is what 100 Thieves is. They are a very aggressive team by nature. Still up and ready, though. They've got the feast there, and they've got the window ult. So both Vanguards up and ready. If they can take down the strategist early with this pressure, and keep this point up to 50, they got a shot to take it.
See where this Banhammer is going to be landing on, trying to isolate one of the backlines, but it's going to be hard when you still have Self, who is waiting to dive together with TTK. Delena has the Apex Predator available. Okay, Millennia immediately freezing Window, by the way. We're talking about Window wanting to try to isolate one of the strats. This forces NRG to play extremely split up, and they lose out on Madara.
Winnie's showing the new White Fox and what she can do as the newest strategist. Absolutely lethal. Rinko they're going to take down, and this is exactly what you wanted to see. If Window can get the opportunity from the ult to shut down and let the dominoes fall as they may, now going to match the ult point for point. And 100 Thieves is pretty far from much. They've got the self ult they can use, but it's going to take another neutral battle where NRG's got the upper hand. And so expect this to at least go to 99 in terms of shock. They can hold on.
Especially if you get to see how this last stand from Self is going to fare. Just trying to maybe find an isolation pick. Madara's waiting, though. He's got the piece of the abyss as he's hungry to dive here into the back. The charm! The charm! No way! Madara gets swatted away, and they slapped him back as 100 Thieves now back to the drawing board, as they're going to be able to try to control more of this space through this choke to try to take this point before backing away. NRG are nearing that 90% point. A nice stun from Winning, who is showcasing what this White Fox can do.
The Agent of Atlas and that charm is just coming in clutch, being able to stop so many ults, and there goes the Glartrox, but quickly with a slice and dice. Time gets one, but Self is feasting, and that was absolute perfection in case of 100 Thieves. Now they're going to be forced to try to tuck where they can, sustain as much as possible. Point taken back, 57%, but wow, Winnie putting on a show, Vic.
I also really like how Self didn't get overzealous, right? Waited for the opportunity to get the last stand dive down, and then the follow-ups came right afterwards for 100 Thieves.
No, yeah, great point, honestly. Self has been showing extreme patience from the first map to now this, as Tribe almost got a quick pick off there. Just barely finding cover. and get a quick living bullet there to try to get more pressure on him. See where they take this approach. Chime just getting that extra poke. They're going to be fueling up their strategist now as Millennia does have ult. We'll see if they use this aggressive. I might here, especially given the ult tracking on NRG side.
Also just waiting, having to be careful.
There it is.
As with both worlds, before you have the Feast of the Abyss to follow up right afterwards from Vinny. Delena unleashes the Glartrox here, and Millennia's gonna be able to have that dance off with Velocity side by side. But all eyes too on Renko on how they're gonna be able to use the Kumiko Unleash as overtime is ticking away. NRG are able to try to flip this, but 100 Thieves get right back onto it. There's a sustainability as Winnie wins the 1v1 versus Chime.
Man, Winnie is getting clutch picks there with the White Fox. Again, this is pre-Pat. Pre-Fox getting the Giga buff as Velocity now playing down low, trying to make sure that this point can be taken. If anyone steps off, keep your eyes on the prize. Window and Moderate gets 2 TTK trades. Window gets another. Hold on, folks. Stinkers is going to make this interesting as time is ticking to tie this thing up. Window down TTK. Desperation from 100 Thieves will not come because it is now 1-1, Vic.
Window? The tank pool? I mean, talk about literally whiplash for that final fight, too. Coming in clutch, making sure that that swap up with Daredevil also got the impact that it needed. That's even with, by the way, Winnie being able to find that pick onto Chime.
Yeah, I gotta shout out NRG's strategy there because they knew Millennia had ult, and so they were like having Chime just use the poke, right, from afar, because you're not gonna... You know, when you're poking from afar, your strategist isn't building any ult because it already has it, right? So at this point, they kind of were like letting them play the first move, and then they did, and they answered with the perfect defensive play. So it's just big brain play that takes, you know, a lot to see it from any angle. But you gotta shout out Winnie as well. Winnie's been playing a terrific game as this new addition on the Fox. But altogether, looking at it, looking at the ults, Vicky, what do you see to set us up for the next fight?
Well, if anything, the highlight to the fact that NRG had more of that sustainability to work with because they rotated through Velocity and Renko's ults very nicely, desyncing them together. It's very similar to what we're going to see for this first fight from 100 Thieves because they want to rely on Winnie and that Kumiko Unleash to help them create the space that they need and maybe follow up together with Self.
Absolutely. Great breakdown. 21 seconds till point opens. This one typically takes some time, folks, to get the first cap. So we'll see if anyone can get a cheeky pick off. Self 97% up. Look for him to hold on to it for a moment there. And Chime's got the Glartrox already. We'll see who's first to press the Q. Fighting in the back lines here, like the approach. We got Vinny just hanging out on the walls as he finds himself a quick hit there. Delena. Quick pokes up early in the sky, going to try to get himself something aggressive-wise. Playing somewhat passively, though, both teams now. And again, this point just takes some time to get, Vic.
And this is the neutral, right? It's very hard to find your opportunity with Wolverine, but when you do, you have to capitalize. He manages to swing away. Sneakers gets stunned temporarily. He falls incredibly low, and Self comes out on top of that 1v1. Now you follow up between Delena and Chime, and everyone is trying to eat, but it is Delena and their Glartrox that comes out on top. And then you completely go in with the dive down from Self, and it's Velocity who's the last victim.
What a great use of the map environment there. Perfectly having the Glartrox fall into the underbelly there and kind of force the arena down low. Absolutely pro play at its finest. And we still have got the Luna ult Vinny and Winnie on their side. Love the Vinny and Winnie. That's going to be a new thing here. But either way, Velocity and Madara can match. So kind of equal footing. See now as both teams charge up and their angles of attack. 20%, and this early point take is massive here on this third crucial last point.
Yeah, very similar to like the Delena and Millennia. I've always had that in mind as well, looking at 100 Thieves. Now we get to add Winnie into the fray, who's been doing great. Delena's trying to look here at the Venom, who's trying to delay the anti. Yo, wow, Millennia's avoiding getting hit with an anti as they have that dance off from both sides. This time though, Vinny answers back even harder. Finds 3, maybe 4 here before the Heaven's Retribution sends everybody together.
Absolutely perfect counterplay there, trying to get the damage boost into the healing, and both teams able mainly to stay up through that. And shout out to the spectators doing the color explosion to see the top in view of the chaos here as Delena continues to pick off one by one, slowly getting that Glartrox, hungry again for more. And here comes the Ninetales. This is going to allow the dive to happen with it. Keep your eyes on Window, 82%, 92, and climbing. Self, though, flashing and dashing. That front line, Stinker finds some success, Vicky. Now Window's got the ult. They should be able to collapse on this.
And Seekers, though, finding 2. That's the strategists that are out for 100 Thieves. No sustainability that they would like. And with Vinny already popping the armor, it's just a matter of time before he meets them back in the spawn. And NRG are able to clear this point for their own good.
And keep in mind, just like we said before, this Deadpool only getting more lethal as we get into point number 3. It's fully loaded with the golden deagles and katanas, right?
Yep.
Window ready to go with this ult. They did not have to commit it, as well as Stinker. So favor, even though 81%. But the next fight is for NRG. We'll see how much they have to use, though, to earn this W, but they've got plenty in the arsenal.
That's a very good call out, Cozy. It's very important to highlight just the build-up that Deadpool has overall. Especially when he gets to level up and he's got the ultimate and he's isolated the back himself. Says, don't worry, I got you! And they get the double whammy. Does he actually make it back from that? Bouncing over to the ledge side? It looks like he did. And now Stinkers comes in. He lets the double out. Chime's alive and they find winning after they were being harassed. What a beautiful play as Window stayed up there.
WTF, man, they've committed a lot to get Window out of that fight. So it's like, I got him. Dylan is like, no, me, and uses the Glartrox to didn't even get the off the map. So Window taking so much pressure and staying alive through it. That would have been a lot to commit, what we just said, Vicky, for one elimination, but didn't even find it in that. So now NRG Shock side, they've got Chime combined with the Venom, but they're going to look to combine Luna with Venom here. Once again, the response is going to be there if Millennia can get their ult just in time as well. This is going to be exactly kind of similar to the fight that you just saw.
Get a little bit of that damage boost going too. Really take advantage of the anti-heal that comes out from the Feast of the Abyss. Same game though for Madara, except they don't have that advantage. And definitely won't have that sustain now with Deletta finding Renko. NRG still has control of the point for right now. The anti-heal comes out and Millennia is going to be able to follow up. Vinny may want to try to capitalize, but it is TTK who've already taken care of the strategist now. His velocity going down too. Window finally gets shish kebab this time around, but NRG are not giving up this point just yet. Still stalling out as Honor Thieves finally flip it back.
Yeah, tip of the cap to Millennia, who's just always had the perfect counter to what is the plan of attack there from what is going to be the lethal Venom and Symbiote from down below. TTK has the Heaven Retribution, which is huge in moments just like this. Watch out as NRG Shock has Madara summoning up the portal. The Sorcerer Supreme is ready. They're going to take the portals of the level itself, though. TTK was expecting it, waiting there from the One-Wing Angel. Ready to go. Throws it down from up above. Chime throws the Glartrox out. It's match for match, Q for Q. TTK down, Vicky.
The Glartrox have clipped TTK's wings before they come in to recontest. Huge stun as Self dives in, but doesn't have the sustain from Winnie despite having the Kumio unleashed. Now it's going to be their turn to try to see if they can pour in instead as Madara had swapped over to allow everybody from NRG to come back.
And they have just enough time here as it's ticking up and up, closer and closer to the first map. This is as close as we've been today, folks. Great use as Madara used the damage up from Velocity. They get the pick on Vinny early. 99 portal open, just barely touching, allowing things to happen and continue to pull. But this is where one goes down by one. Loki lanterns out to let them at least touch some part of the point, Vicky. Vinny opens up. It's feasting time. Finds nothing. It's NRG Shock, shocking this first match.
But Winnie has the passive already used up, but you made the swap over to the Adam Warlock, expecting, you know, can you even get that ultimate in time with the ult nerfs and with the Iron of Agamotto? That is Madara highlighting what NRG just did for this first map.
Wow, only one team right now is stealing a win, and it is not the Thieves. It is NRG Shock getting the first dub on Domination. And we knew this team had the play callers, the talent, and the execution available. And way to come back and snag those two. Chime getting the MVP. How fitting with our pre-lineup and discussion of this match. Vicky, I mean, take a look at the scoreboard. What's popping to you?
I mean, aside from the obvious of Chime coming out with those 13 finals, seeing him pop off in his own regard, I think the swap-ups, right? Stinkers being over onto the Daredevil was trying to get these follow-ups together with Window, who was huge on the tank pool. I mean, I don't even know if we're going to see tank pool in the pick and ban phase. If you're 100 Thieves, you want to get that out of there because I feel like that just costs so much attention and time away from 100 Thieves, even if they was peeling there for the backline that Self was trying really hard to protect them from, because then you also have to worry about the Venom, right? Together with that, you're looking in two different directions. You look like a chameleon looking to the back, but then looking to the front at the same time. But also Renko and Velocity, the way that they were able to hold their own, Millennia did a lot of sustain. I mean, 45k, but up to the 21 final hits from Delana, there's only so much you could do when your backline was getting oppressed. Maybe Self thinking about, was the Wolverine worth it at this point when you couldn't really get as many kidnaps as you may have wanted?
Yeah, I mean, shout out to the sixth member or the seventh and the Glartrox as well, because the fact that the 100 Thieves were able to have their defensive like approach there, and like even TTK knew where they were coming from, right? Like they were all ready, and it just didn't matter. They were able to break through that sustain. And yeah, shout out to Window as well. This is a player that I've continued to highlight that is just shown to be a star in the most clutch moments. Vic, you'll never forget when we saw that, what was it, 20-minute overtime where Window kept on that sustain in, Envy back in the day, and continues to show it for this new team in NRG Shock, a team absolutely stacked. 100 Thieves is the only team shocked right now alongside all those that predicted them to clean this 2-0. Folks, we could have our first, I keep saying it, 1-1. Zoe, what do you think?
I mean, this is exactly what we wanted to see. We were praying for a close match literally all day long. And granted, the scorelines don't really tell the story in our previous matches. I think a lot of them could have gone the distance, but this one could really be it. I love how close they played it. I also just love that we immediately saw from both teams that they have a distinct style, that they do have an identity already in this new meta.
Yeah. Certified banger. We knew this was going to be one for sure. And, how this next match kind of folds out. Got to give quick W's to the White Foxes out there, because that was just awesome play early, especially in such an adapting scene and meta to bring that hero out and really highlight the gameplay. And it wasn't just, one of the members. I think there's a lot of highlighted moments there from White Fox on both sides, Winnie, as well as the Rinko. So it was a fun match overall, Vicky, and I think this next one's gonna be a good one. 100 Thieves, they always used to take to Yggdrasil. Do they continue the old ways?
We're gonna have to see. You know what's crazy is that White Fox is only gonna get better for next week, and that's a little bit of highlight for some people to look forward to. I feel like a change though is question mark over the Angela save onto TTK. Because we saw some signs of life, right? But was it worth it is the question, especially if you do want to go to one of TTK's favorite maps.
I mean, initially it didn't, right? It did kind of put a damper onto what they had planned, early on. The Angela was not working out for them. Generally also, I feel again, Elsa's coming through when you have Delena and Chime, putting in so much damage, getting so many KOs. Are we gonna let the Elsa fly again? Are we gonna see that?
It's the ego check. I think it's Delena's I'll play the better Elsa, and it's the same going on over there. And
is it just a gentleman's agreement? It's we just
it's belief in yourself, kind of, right? It's you know what? Let them have it. We'll have it too, whatever. But I think it's interesting because it came down. I mean, we saw Window take 4 ults in one over there in one of the situations. The Glartrox, I think, was a bit better, obviously, on the side of Chime. I think I can, say that pretty firm there, and that was a big difference in the Elsa gameplay. You saw the stats; they both put on a show, but it does come down to one of the most powerful pieces of their kit, that being obviously that ult.
You know what's super clutch too, by the way? Stinkers had a lot of information being on that Daredevil, and that also enabled Chime to preemptively, there was 2 different Glartroxes that we saw that was able to cut off 100 Thieves in their rotation when they were trying to rotate behind the point in that last round too.
Now, 100 Thieves get the map pick here and the mode pick with that as well, of course. Where are they taking us?
Yeah, again, so of old, it used to be a lot of Yggdrasil. Sometimes they would take it as well to Central Park. I feel like this is a new 100 Thieves team. They're going to bring it somewhere completely different and new. If I were to take just a stab of what they want to try to do. Listen, right now, there's one common denominator. Outside of, I think it was Necrise, right? Angela equals lost right now. That is just something we've seen so
Sample
far.
size 3, I guess. This is the third one, second one. Yeah. All right.
But that was the game plan. They saved it. That was not even just something that they wanted to adjust to. That was something that they've had planned, ready to go. iRemix has cooked up over there. And obviously it's because TTK is phenomenal at the One Wing Angel. But, in that matchup came down to, little small micro decisions.
Also the changes too, right? Because you have the peel potential from the other side to prevent the Angela and the Venom from popping off. I was expecting a convoy, but it's a different look of the convoy that we were expecting, Cozy.
I had a feeling. I was we're going to see something we've never seen today. And I just had a gut feeling. We are going to the museum and will be seeing the duck float, my friends, here. Or maybe not if they have a crazy defense. Zoe, I think it's important, and you've seen so many matches and, everything that you've done here in esports. I've got to ask, it's important when matches are this close not to over adjust, right? Because they barely lost that. You try to stay things somewhat similar?
It's a really easy thing to do, right? But that's where the experience comes in, because most experienced players know that, like, no, this was literally like, this came down to like 1 or 2 fights, like a few decisions. It wasn't the game plan, it was an execution problem. So like, as long as the game plan is on point, it should be fine. If it's an obvious hole in the game plan, then obviously that's on the coach to like immediately identify. Difficult if it's very player-led, because players do experience the game a lot differently as they're in it versus the coach who's like, in the backseat, just kind of like getting the bigger picture.
Absolutely. Vicky, what do you think they do change up if 100 Thieves is going to try? Because obviously this map wouldn't be one that I would probably have the Angela as the play here. If I personally were to guess, do you think, we go to more traditional TTK madness?
I feel like this is actually a lot of verticality. I think there's actually a lot of opportunities for you to have that pop-off moment if you do want to showcase that Angela here. I mean, we had it obviously in that last map too. You have that verticality and a lot of space to control. But I feel like a lot of focus on like the fact that Self couldn't play the Daredevil like we saw from Stinkers was a big focus point. So go back to the drawing board and looking at that pick and ban phase, figure out what you want to prioritize, because were they expecting the Angela ban in the first place? Could they have protected maybe something else if they had that opportunity is the question.
Listen, this was the map that displayed. This is the map that displayed Deadpool here, and it's going to be their home court. Does he make it through? That's going to be the question.
Yeah, I mean, he's been plenty of appearances today, and it certainly shows why he is on that ban list more often than not. Let's see what they have in store for us. It's match point for NRG. Shock, can 100 Thieves tie it up?
All right, Vicky. Will we have our first 1-1 of the day? Will 100 Thieves fall 0-2 and shock the world? NRG is looking to do. Here we go. Gambit first up on the line. What do we expect here with the first save? Is it just going to be right to the Elsa again?
Let's see. 100 Thieves want to try to pry with that. I mean, if you are Delena with 21 final hits, you absolutely do that, because Delena will continuously pop off when you have these open sightlines. Imagine what the Glartrox could do here for the first time as we look at the Museum of Contemplation. One of my new favorite maps, by the way. Could be brutal if you're the one coming out of the attack side, but NRG Shock stick to their guns on this Daredevil ban, and I like this too. And they're also going to be able to keep enabling Chime, who will have that Elsa v Elsa battle out.
No, I knew. I mean, these two players, they're like, they're not going to say, they are not scared of the opposition. Delena's like, give me the Elsa. Chime saying the same. They're going to continue to ring on. Mantis can be banned with the Daredevil on top. They've got last Rose, a ban up top before a quick save. So this is an important one from a 100 Thieves standpoint. And looking at it, I mean, the Deadpool Vanguard was where we thought they might go, and that's where the top is with the Shock, but it's going to be Invis. So they're going to do kind of the same, attack the strategist in the back and not change up the game plan too much.
Interesting. Okay, but was Shock also banging out the tank pool? This is some awareness that they're going to be able to roll into that. Another one of their strengths that we highlighted from Window will be able to get away with that. But 100 Thieves still lingering on a very similar pick and ban phase that I understand here. They want to try to take away the triple strat, and they ban out the Jeff. So it looks like not much has changed. This is the same exact ban that we saw 100 Thieves roll out with just in that last game.
Yeah, again, it was down to the wire and different game mode. So don't need to change too much if you are confident in the game plan that you have.
Yes.
The Mantis save especially could open up some new opportunities. And we'll see if now who is going to rotate into that. Millennia might be the one that we see make that adjustment. I think I like the Jeff ban here a bit better if you're going to be NRG, but they're looking at Loki. Not, obviously not bad either. Can have either option. Now that also gives, 100 Thieves some different decisions to make in the back line.
Damage boosted Elsa. We talked about this before. You don't want that, because by the time we turn a corner, you're absolutely obliterated into pixels. So we get to see how this plays out, at least for the side of 100 Thieves. And I'm wondering, who is going to be able to go on to that? Millennia hovering over that Invisible Woman. TTK, don't tease us, because we know what that... Oh, Emma TTK is out, Cozy. And we're ready to see how this plays out. It looks like they're feeling the pressure. A team that has been considered one of the best teams in America is sitting at the very top.
Pressures make diamonds, right? I mean, that is what Imma for us is all about, and I knew it. I just had a feeling TTK was going to go back home, was going to go back to mother. Imma Frost coming out. No, just kidding, by the way. That was all just fun for the puns.
No, but you know what? Mara got us. He was the other OG that always popped off on the Emma.
Very true. TTK, dang you, my friend. But look at what they're going to be locking in here. Vinny did very well in cap towards the end of stage 2 as well. So definitely have that at the arsenal. You know, Vinny used to only be the Groot guy way back when, and then it's just added everyone. As they say Groot, he comes out with that. And they're really just, you know, forming this comp right before the gates open. Defense is up and ready, sticking to things pretty similar as the first. But as your point said, Madara are going to be on the Queen as they try to escort the school bus.
And for those of you wondering, oh, I thought it was Chime time, you know, Chime popping off on the outside. They're on the defense, right? So they want to try to lean into this triple strategist. Very important to note, especially for this point. It could be very brutal, especially if it's one-sided. Self-sticking to the Wolverine has been interesting. He manages to get away in time. Delena's able to control a lot of this neutral, and they're trying to get more of these follow-ups between that Terror Cape as Vinny jumps up and bops Madara in the head.
Yeah, I think you're going to need a quick swap from NRG Shock here. I don't love... It is on defense, but I don't love what they've got, especially matched up to 100 Thieves. And when your defense is too late, right, to swap up, so you can make these adjustments now. We'll see if they continue to do so. But also getting closer to the ult charges might change that fact. Velocity ready to go here on the Loki, as we know what he does best. And quickly, Madara are going to summon that portal off of the White Queen. Brings the Sorcerer Supreme into action. Now quickly it's going to be Window throwing on the ult. This is the aggression early. We'll see if they can make the opportunity from it.
Talk about how quickly Winnie was able to dismiss just with the awareness, making sure that they do not get caught out of position from a portal that would just spawn right there behind them at the hands of Madara, who made that swap over to Doctor Strange before TTK, who hovered over the Emma just for a little bit, came right back around and has been putting in a hell of damage here. As you see TTK follow up to find Window, and Velocity's the next victim.
Yeah, look no further if you are an Imma Frost fan than TTK as just the absolute master class in the hero. Obviously, Imma's not the absolute S-tier pick right now in terms of the meta, but TTK will always find ways to make Mother work best, as I like to say. When he has the internal bond ready to paint the path to victory, Stinkers can match that somewhat here with the quick Galartrox. But yeah, I do like some of these adjustments here from NRG Shock. The way they approach about it, Velocity ready to go with the copy, and it's going to be the internal bond. What a beautiful rotation.
Oh, I'm a little scared here, though. Velocity Sports to go back because they know that the Sonic Seduction should try to catch them, but a beautiful dismiss means that they stay alive and they stay on the path. The Glartrox going out from left field, by the way, trying to catch them on the right side. 100 Thieves were able to just navigate away, and great timing, too, because this gets to keep TTK's damage output with the beam.
Yeah, but that was insane dodging from the Glartrox on Shock side. Like, that was like the perfect counter to it. Glartrox, finding nothing there. TTK is going to find Madara, but there's going to be the Glartrox in return. I'm going to hear that a lot. The release of the Glartrox, the Apex Predator, finds something, but nothing to come from it. Left hungry. Delena going to get the pick on Rinko, going to allow them to continue to push through this point. Very tough choke point here as TTK finds another. Vicky right now, 100 Thieves really dominating and showing why this is a new, maybe hometown pick.
And I like the awareness from NRG to back away because how long has TTK been at like 80+% on terms of the damage output from that beam? It's been very consistent. We know with these nerfs it goes down a lot quicker now, but look at this. The setup with the wall self is waiting like an Apex Predator to find somebody.
The animal stalks his prey, right? And there's the kidnap trying to find the best from it. Unable to come up with his prey with it. And there's going to be a quick pick, though, over Stinkers gets Delena out at a crucial point with just ticks left here. Vicky going to force to pop the show early. Delena going to match that. Self has a massive ult that he can get himself the space needed. It's the kidnap. He's going to try to find the ult. There it is, a big one. Slam down. Oh, it's so close.
Oh, but they wanted to try to protect them. The Magneto bubble coming in over to the other side, too, from Madara's hands, and that actually helps Velocity. Yes, he gets a copy, but he gets it from just slightly delaying things before coming right back around as Renko at least finds TTK. That's 2 members out from 100 Thieves. No Vanguard to hold the front line.
Kind of wanted to hold that one back from Stinkers, right? I don't know if you needed that exact Glartrox at that moment, especially given the time left. But either way, I mean, crazy, because Self had 4. They still had 1 on the point, though, and you got to get them all. If they would have had all 5 there, that would have been it, as the 6 was already out. But Velocity now going to set up. This is a bit better for their defensive comp that they're going to try to have. Chime close to the Ninetales and ready for the Kuma hole. And Madara to follow.
And make sure you try to seal the QDQ though before he unleashes the Glartrox. Looking at Delena specifically, who sees the group wall. The follow-up, it catches Stinkers, but it doesn't catch the Fox necessarily. Trying to resustain isn't enough, and that is Energy Shock with a use of Strout ult, not helping them out on top of Window, who also pulled the trigger on the Banhammer.
So there's no way Vinny had that wall up, broke the wall, Glartrox goes out. Like was that just the most like absolutely animal lying in the grass that you could possibly have in the setup? Insanity. But either way, yeah, that was great done. And why I think Stinkers would have definitely wanted to save onto that ult, right? Madara also had the counter into Winnie's Eternal Bond, but just the way everyone was set up, no chance to do so.
Backing away now. This is going to be that open lane opportunity to fight in the neutral. Chime is going to be able to get enabled this time around after making that swap up themselves. More triple strat that we were seeing before. Madara does have that Meteor M. It's going to be crucial to see if they can catch Millennia, who has the invisible boundary.
Yeah, good call out there. As right now, just giving them a little bit of a space and Window going to find Self in the back. Nice little pick there to give them plenty of opportunity now to take this point right back over. 2 minutes, 24 seconds, which is a good amount. Now keep your eyes on the Doctor Strange duck. It's hard to not look at it, I'm being honest. And the way that you have to kind of approach this point differently than others. As you guys know, with Madara's changes and Magneto's changes, in fact, making him a bit more of a selfish hero, his bubble becoming that much easier, allowing him to be a bit more aggressive. Window fighting TTK right out of this thing, and got a little bit of a stagger thing going on in terms of 100 Thieves. Might have to reset even with that self-pick, Vic.
Yeah, and the used up invisible boundary misposition did not help out TTK, and that's a use up strat that is gone. Delena, though, still here on this point and has a Glartrox ready before TTK comes right back around to boost up that damage. Night Terror Cape, though, from the other side is going to be a copy of the God of Mischief in the form of the Cloak and Dagger to paint the floor.
Ooh. And look at Winnie, so close to match it now, and there's the quick, wow, Delena's gonna go in and get a quick hit there. The Glartrox comes out, but doesn't find anything from it. That's yet another one coming up empty. Forming a little bit too late there as Chime taking over the duties of Elsa. Self finds another success, and Vicky, that was as perfect as you could get if you're a 100 Thieves fan, because look at what they have. The Groot Hug ready to go, the Glartrox to go off that, the Edge to throw the monster off for victory, or they can paint it with the Eternal Bond. This is 100 Thieves to lose.
And this is perfect that you talked about like the lack of Glartrox impact too, because now we have flipped the script. It's this time it's really Chime that's kind of struggling to fall behind. Rezaletta's really holding on to that button. Vinny gets kidnapped though, avoids it from Stinkers, who does have that reset with the last stand. This time it's Delena's time to try to get more of that impact, but with the floor painted purple, Curly C. Winnie just trying to keep everybody alive for 100 Thieves. We are Groots. A man of many words from Vinny clears out the spawn point choke.
You feel bad for Stinkers, who took them all on a ride with the ult there as Wolverine, but ends up paying the ultimate price there as Vinny throws down the ult. Here comes everybody from the portal, and just like we just saw before, the portal goes one by one. TTK gets Madara, now sticking closer and closer to this finish, finding their prey as the Apex Predators not even needed this time around as the invisible boundary goes up. Gives life more to 100 Thieves to continue to steal this point, but time is ticking, 19 seconds down. Every second that they can keep this thing on gives them more to fight back when they are on offense. 3 up, though. That's why Museum was picked there, Vic.
Yeah, and you know what's really crazy, too? It's very rare to tell everybody here watching for a moment. It's really hard to really complete that map on the attack. It's difficult, especially at this level of Marvel Rivals, and they did it. Yes, they don't have a lot of time to work with. They'll reset over to a minute if it flips to the other side, but that was insane resets that we saw coming in from 100 Thieves. And by the way, that portal that Energy Shock put down was a doom trap, because not only do you have to worry about the trap on the other side, I see TTK like choke slamming somebody at the same time. They're trying to body block, so they're just staggered through, forcibly staggered if you were Shocked trying to recontest.
You know, Vic, I've been putting my head together. I'm like, man, how do they all have all these animated icons? This is what I'm scratching my head. This is a separate server, right? I'm pretty sure that these are all just unlocked for them at this point. I don't know. I'm just calling it. There's an Atom. Maybe Delena's got the Atom, actually. It makes sense. Either way, I love all the flexing of aura these two teams have. And plenty of talent and confidence behind them. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be really a statement for NRG Shock to show kind of what you can do with your backs against the walls and how they're going to approach this offensive approach.
A little different look here. Self noting, okay, now that we're here on the defense, it's going to be something very similar to what we saw NRG Shock roll out with too. That's why Chime is starting things off on the Elsa, while Self is going to be able to get the damage boost necessary onto Delena.
Absolutely. Gates open up, and here we go, folks. Can they match the 3 right off the bat? Rinko back on over to the Fox. Delina up and healthy. That's why that Mantis pick was huge. Self-play Mantis is something we obviously didn't see in days past, but the future is here, and Self, the 100 Thieves on the chest. Push forward. TTK now showing Mother knows best and continues to put the pressure on them, giving them the space early into this haul, which I think favors 100 Thieves.
Just so much damage output when you have TTK boosting up that damage and not getting focused. You're just letting this beam build up. But I also like the way that they back away in this time, right? They see the opportunity where now NRG are playing a little bit split up. They're looking down that lane, but they don't want to try to overextend because they know that there's 2 members in the back line that could harass their own back line. The strategist in some trouble, and it comes out on top. Window with the jump scare here together with Chime.
Yeah, we always used to say, right, Window opens up the window for the team to move forward. And I mean, this is how they're going to win this map right here, right now. Stinkers over on the Devil, looking to scout ahead, see what he can find. Chime close to that Glartrox, and now see if they have that window of opportunity to nail that ult a bit better. Chime breaking kind of the map's gimmick, right? These force fields, my favorite parts of these maps. Here comes the quick portal. Vinny and the team into it right away.
Ooh, gets a trap though before Chime gets to reposition. I like this recontention that we're currently seeing, taking this slow, and Velocity finds Self. That's a big first pick here as they unleash the Apex Predator, and Vinny's on the other side, unfortunately falling victim, but look, nice little stall before the portal closes right before their eyes.
All right, now they're really coming to form here. We thought 100 Thieves had a great first push, but that was record time. 4 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock, and still plenty to go as 2 strategists have the ults ready for this next push. 100 Thieves have to try to slow this thing down. They can't play too aggressive here because they're definitely down on advantage. Pushing forward. TTK now on over to the Angela. Delina close for lunchtime. See how they choose to approach this bit here. Now TTK trying to just get a little pressure on the top, Vic. Can't play too unsafe.
And if you want to get a follow-up, at the very least, Vinny's close to the Eye of Agamotto, and Delena could just unleash the Glartrox if they're in a good spot, that is. But Madara, Beast of the Abyss, gets a tether first before getting the follow-up, the victim being the Invisible Woman, unfortunately, and even with the Glartrox getting sent out, may not find the impact that they have wanted because Self is right back over onto the Wolverine. They're straggling through just a little bit, but no one's really stopped energy. Look at this. They have 3 minutes, less than 4 minutes entirely, and they're still getting so much space.
This bus is zooming. I mean, absolutely pushing through the second point here already. Every Q ready to go for Shock as well. 100 Thieves have to kind of use 2, maybe 3 here. Nothing too crazy. Quick Diablo appearance there on Window, getting a quick trap, and there it is. Going to go and try to combine it all right here. If you NRG, send it now as Vinny gets 2. Chime going to be one of them. Got to get Chime out of there, but the ult's going to keep them up healthy. Rinko keeping the team alive, but it's Delina and Self, the duelist 100 Thieves, take 1 down, now 3, finally getting the stop they need.
They put Renko in the microwave. That Kumio Unleashed lasted for maybe 2 minutes or 2 seconds or so. That was unfortunate, but that was the one thing that allowed Renko to help with the sustain too. So that's one strat off the table for 100 Thieves try to go in and control this next corner here.
Yeah, the one thing that's so tough about this map, Vicky, is there's so many corridors and so many things you have to kind of keep track of as a defense, right? So you're just trying your best to keep track of all the dive and the teams together at once on top of everything else you're trying to do, right? Chime's got that Glartrox already. Thieves used a lot for that first stop, 2 minutes, 44 seconds. Now, Thieves favor if they can just kind of keep this thing slowed down a bit, but obviously anything but that as Madara is going to be on the Venom looking for their first dive.
Changing things up before Vinny. Taking a good chunk of that damage, has some help between Winnie and Millennia. But looking at Self right now, what he can do, it's not like he has the ultimate, but 911, you could call the Amber Alert before maybe the Venom could get away as he does swing away. But it's just a trade-off in the neutral. It's Chime that could make a big play. He's kind of hungry. He sees the Venom here, and he catches everybody grouped up together. 2 KO now coming out in favor for Chime. Can we see a 3 before the Wolverine tries to get away? Literally one shot. They find him out, and they clear out this point to get the second checkpoint.
Yeah, and Portal was already used, I believe, so they're going to have to just let this thing tick on over. Vinny's going over to the Strange, though. We're already on it for that matter. So 3 minutes, 18 seconds. This is where, at least on the defense approach, it gets a little easier than from inside, Vic. But again, that's why every second matters on your offensive push. Seeing what NRG has, Window, Madara, that's kind of all they need. Vinny, hold on, Portal opening up in the back. I heard it from, seems like downtown. Vinny Gonna get pressure on early.
They flipped sides and they saw the opportunity because NRG Shock are so moved up right now. Here we go. The fastball special though. We're gonna be able to see him yeet out the Wolverine or maybe yeet him back over to the spawn because Chime had his way.
Spawn special, dude.
No. You got to strike real quick.
We're keeping that one. Yeah, we're definitely going to be using that in the future. That was definitely an interesting strat. I mean, yeah, they were pushed up a lot, so why not just go ahead and port onto the back? Now, that could come back to haunt them. Really, the portal is going to be tough to use here anyway because you're so close to said point. Vinny swapping on over to the Strange because of that. Self being closed, but man, NRG just keeps momentum. Windows still has the ult ready too. Vic, I mean, they can get this thing with a minute left.
Yeah, they can, and TTK had made already that swap over to the Emma, right? Like, you're trying to force out the Angela, just trying to be able to help Yo for your backline too. Renko's got claws, by the way, will take on the Venom if they have to. Need some help, forced out the Kumiho Unleashed at the same time before backing out at the very end of the Cloak and Dagger Eternal Bond.
Yeah, the Eternal Bond's definitely doing its work right now, but there it is yet again. The Guard Truck's going to find at least the one in Winnie. Two going to go now, both strategists. Now out of this thing, that's 4 minute 30. So this is the last fight in chance. No portal, obviously, going to be able to be used. Now, if you are 100 Thieves, you have plenty to go. Great stagger too, Wolf. So they're going to be a little bit unorthodox. Still time though to get together for one last fight, and they should be able to actually make this down to the wire, Vic.
Cozy. They got a little bit more time, but remember, the NRG are sitting at match point in our best 2 out of 3, and they see victory in sight. They're hungry, and Seekers is letting the devil out before diving on to the victim. Unfortunate for Millennia, but that's why Winnie goes over to the Rocket. The BRB is there. You dive down, and this is the turnaround that they need with the Side of Seduction, and they get it onto the point.
Yeah, there's only one on point. I was wondering why, but we're kind of full committing to that daredevil approach and trying to get the best shot from them. Either way, 100 Thieves survives that test. Now 58 seconds and counting down. Vinny's got the Feast of the Abyss. Look out below if you're NRG Shock fan. Quickly going to try to find what they can. If Chime goes down here, this is going to be their key to success. Now Millennia also going to be close to their ult as well. So this is going to come down to the absolute seconds. Millennia 82%. That's going to be their win con. If they're able to stay up 86, 87, NRG needs to put the pedal to the gas, but also doesn't have the weapons they need to push forward. Now time's at 30 seconds and at least going to match Thieves.
We know what Window could do with the opportunity. He's already trying to isolate the backline. Nice push off though. Millennia Ware has the invisible boundary, whereas Velocity tries to get the freeze here. Vinny does get frozen, he even chimed at the same time. Somehow he is still alive. He held onto that armor before diving back to his supports.
Watch out for the Glortrox though. Chime's just trying to set up the perfect approach. They know it, they see it. Here comes the Feast from the other side. Gonna come up empty as Mono's trying to escape the best they can. Self wants to claw up and slice up the best they will. Rinko close to the Ninetales. Chime still waiting for that opportunity. Vinny going down. That's the big sustain that they're looking for. But the res is huge here, Vicky, as the Glortrox comes out. Tries to find something. Has one in the mouth. Gets now 2 down. 100 Thieves. Overtime. Vicky, this is it.
Oh no, but you finally get the Sia online. I like the swap up with the Sia a little late here. They lost it on 2, but it's still able to be stalled out. They need to take care of Renko right now, who has that sustainability. Mara, put the portal in their face though. They get the kidnap, but that portal's gonna try to block out one of their entrances, wasting even more time.
Oh, Self gets the kidnap to get Mara off the map. No, there's 2 trades though for the 2 reds of Daredevil. Twice now, Stinkers finds his prey. Delina has the Glortrox, but falls before they can use it. NRG Shock's looking to make this thing interesting. As now another goes down, the Lawyer getting it done. Objection, we will have overtime.
The jury has spoken. And NRG now, we're going the distance here. They have the extra time, but it's going to be a minute apiece, whereas now 100 Thieves have that extra 17 seconds on their name.
Dude, holy stinkers. Like, what? Like, you got the self-kidnap on Madara, and I'm like, well, chop it up. That's it. You have the Glortrox ready to go. No, not if the Lawyer has anything to say or do about it. Matt Murdoch going full crazy. That was awesome, man. That was a lot of fun.
Whew, W portal, by the way, too, because it also allowed Stinkers to pop off because there was only one direction, right, that the strategists have to look out from that window between the crack of the choke as well as that portal. So Stinkers was able to harass them still, even after that Sia was put down. But a great portal play to also try to deny them the space. Anything, right? So that way they could get to that finish line. We don't go to a map number 3 because NRG are still in this.
Yeah, and here's the thing. That was the same finish as kind of what we saw in the domination in map 1, right? I would say momentum kind of favored Thieves there. And here we go again. Now, obviously, NRG you know, they can play a little bit more loose here because this isn't it for their best of 3. 100 Thieves, a lot more pressure cooking on their side. Defensive effort first. Locking in. Vinny on the Groot. I like that decision, followed by TTK on the Emma. Winnie, you know, they have Jeff open here. I would have liked the Jeff play, maybe, Vic, if I'm being honest. Obviously, too late for that now. Over the Invis, but plenty of options.
I agree. That's what I was wondering too, but they want to rely on the invisible boundary, it seems like. I also feel like Renko's been doing a very good job of protecting Velocity. Yeah, actually right there as he was able to teleport right on top of him. But it's also adding in a lot of pressure because Renko's literally been duking it down with anybody who's been trying to dive up on this backline. Self looking for a kidnap opportunity. Tries to find it before you see the Venom just jump all the way up on top of that wall. It's a nice little stall out in this neutral with these group walls really allowing Vinny to pop off.
Yeah, every pick matters here, especially as both Elsas are going to find one. The Monster Hunter's getting it done, but one being more important. That's going to be a big, absolute massive snowball that NRG continues to find. You're going to have the Strange Portal come out any moment here for the reset. But wow, what an absolute show there. Window at 0%. The only advantage right now that 100 Thieves can look to find. Vinny going to go over to the Strange, Vic. They're going to come out of the portal. If Winnie can survive through this Vinny portal, then they're looking good to go. Get the bond out.
Hold up. Who we kidnapping? Who we kidnapping? Time is of the essence. Hold the line. And he gets it up. Makes the swap. What a big pick. Talk about a freeze 2 onto Delena before Madara rolls out with some style.
The aura points. Oh my god, if you're confused at all, Vinny going down to his own magic. Kind of. Now Velocity finds another one. This team is getting it done. What an absolute showing here. Winning in the draft now on the battlefield. It's going to be an absolute show. No Feast of the Abyss, but Venom is absolutely feasting, Vic.
He like he has a in-game built-up rage meter, it looks like. Like he's woken up, you know, and he was popping up earlier, but now this is where it matters. You want to get as much distance, which is so important, especially on this map. Even look at Window right now, who's waiting for the opportunity to just dive down after he used up this ultimate earlier, and now Winnie has the Eternal Bond. You try to get the kidnap, you get the Glartrox, and you find Velocity, you find Window next, and it's Delena who didn't pull the trigger yet.
That's exactly what they needed, though. They had to come out with something to get themselves a little bit of breathing room, because you fall on this point, you might as well call it game match finish. Delena putting the team into his own hands as he finds 4 now, and just like that, they're off the point. They finally stop the momentum push, but wow, did they earn that time, Vic? This is going to obviously come down to the very last minute. Vic, I got to say, looking at it, I think a lot of respect is given from 100 Thieves over to their strategists. You can tell with the bans. Obviously, clearly, I'm just a much bigger fan of NRG's game plan coming into both these matches.
I'm telling you, you got to hold the line. The question is, though, Cozy, is the 17 extra seconds going to be worthwhile for 100 Thieves? It takes that one team fight to try to reset that mentality, and that was a huge opening for Madara to waste even more time away from them so that way they could get even more progress.
Yeah, I mean, either way, you're going to come down to the overtime, right? But, I mean, how much more? I guess it allows you to have one mistake early on is kind of where you get the advantage, but then at that point you then give advantage over to the shock on the ult department, so you kind of don't even want to rely on the 17 seconds that you have extra. So it's going to come down to that. I mean, really, we're gonna tell pretty quickly here. All right, can they get these neutral picks? Delena, you know, you are the duelist right now for this team. Terra's gone, you're what's left, you've added in Self. This is where it comes to, you know, start this new chapter for 100 Thieves. A lot of pressure.
A team that everyone was looking at to be on top within Group A now. Backs against the walls, down an entire game. Looking to take this a distance, but NRG Shocker playing on another level, making sure the whole world is looking at them right now. Self rolling out on the Mantis, gets the damage boost as well. Millennia 2 out on the Adam Warlock, but it's something that they can't run. It's the Adam and Loki. Remember, the Loki was banned against 100 Thieves, so this is just going to be that one res that they have to worry about with TTK sticking to the Angela. Yeah,
I do like the Adam pick here. Millennia plays it not near, you know, as much as what we used to see from Delena, but obviously has all of it in the tool belt. But here it is. This is the early neutral fight that we've got to see kind of who's going to be the first to fall. Time is ticking so fast, but more importantly, the ult charges. This is why you go for the Vanguard tank pool, throwing on the backline ult right away, and everybody pressing W at once. Look at those health bars. Just decimate one after the other. Stinker's window. Everybody wants a piece of the pie, Vicky. Hello, spawn room. 30 seconds left.
I mean, Windows literally Thanos snapped this entire team out of existence with a huge ace. I mean, now they're nowhere in sight. We talk about that extra time that they needed. It looks like they needed it just so that way they could collect themselves before getting taken out here. To reset, but look at Madara. He's waiting to dive down on this back line. Says 100 Thieves, are they ready? I mean, Self is now on the Namor.
Yeah, the new era of Thieves here, opening up here to end the day. All the pressure on the line. Delina does get the pick on Stinkers. That's definitely going to help out that back line now as they push in, finding more on. They can get here. Namor in the squiz, aim to help as well, but it's constant attack from Madara on the symbiote over and over. They do get the pick there, and here we go, Vic. They didn't use too much to get those neutral hits, and now you're lined up with a Vinny ult. Winnie's gonna have theirs, Delina as well. We're just getting started here, folks. Still plenty to go in overtime. Expect the portal, probably not as flashy as what Madara did to try to counter.
But in terms of ultimates here, this is gonna go the distance because Velocity is also close to that fate of both worlds. Same thing Millennia with the invisible boundary. You gotta look currently though at Self, who may want to wait out for that here. If you're looking at Chime, who wants to unleash the Glartrox, because you've got the Horde of Proteus to go down. The Dance coming in next, and Winnie painting the floor with the Eternal Bond. You survive for now to let us still up here, and now you're currently focusing at this portal and this choke. But Vinny is going crazy. I am Groot. 99 wood cutting before they desperately try to recontest.
Oh, absolutely here. They used a lot. Millennia, staying alive, but not falling. They're falling finally now as TTK throws on the Heaven's Retribution. Time is ticking. They cannot get off this point. They just have meters to go. They did cap the point, giving spawn advantage over to them, and that should just be enough to give them the victory. Now going over to the bus. Time ran out, and it is over. 100 Thieves get the win, and we are 1-1, Vicky, for the first time today. Holy hell. That was awesome.
Let's go, man. Final series of the day ends up being a banger. We were expecting this. We didn't jinx it. Thank goodness. No caster curse here, but our first game 3 of the entire season to kick off our series.
I mean, honestly, winning, so you lost the first neutral pretty bad in the first fight in overtime, and that the way they were able to win that second fight one by one, not using really anything. The Glartrox came up empty. I believe it got the Lina, but that was just about it. And the rotations and what they had available on the ult side. Loved self-swap over to the Namor. I think that was perfect to counter that portal and some of the aggression play that was happening on their end. Vicky, I think it's overused, but it was absolute cinema. I try not to say that too much, but in this instance, that was a perfect fight.
And then he proceeded to get like 2 extra KOs following right after being able to pull that off, and then swapped over to the Venom and then proceeded to just clean up whatever was left. Even with that though, 100 Thieves were able to sustain themselves making these swaps. It looked like we were kind of playing musical chairs a little bit on the different heroes that we were seeing, but it worked out at the very end. I think Vinny also having a standoff moment at the very end when everybody's grouped up together, having to deal with the onslaught of damage from the Groot walls. I mean, if we saw Window melt everybody down, same thing could be said at the very end there with Vinny and those wall setups.
Wow. I mean, I just got to say, this is what I expected from these two, teams. We talked about NRG a lot and what they have as a unit of talent. And man, they were all over the board in people's predictions of what they would be to show up and show out. But 100 Thieves, they've been in so many of these instances. This is the most returning team to the America squad in terms of the roster mania. Been there, done that. They're ready for it. I mean, who changes what on their approach? Because I do favor NRG in the pink bands, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like what you mentioned too earlier is very important because you talk about like the strengths of the strategist backline of 100 Thieves and what they're taking away from that, right? They had to work incredibly hard. Going over to the Rocket just for the sake of the BRB cozy was something that helped them out a bit. Do we see just stick to getting more of these, just aside from that, 100 Thieves sticking to that role of trying to focus down on that stretch too?
Oh, so what did we just watch? I mean, I
don't know. Madara's portal still lives rent-free in my head and will be for a few generations, actually. I might tell my daughter about it. But yeah, no, this is incredible. Like the tenacity of 100 Thieves to like grind this one out, because quite frankly, in this map, there were so many moments where I was like, oh yeah, NRG, got it. The first moment being literally right after the pick and ban phase, right? Because they're losing, like, they can't play Loki, they can't play Vanpool, they can't play Daredevil, they can't play Gambit. It was an uphill battle from the very get-go for 100 Thieves. So I cannot wait to pick your guys' brain and see what those teams have in store for us on our last and final map. For now, we're heading into a quick break, letting everyone have an opportunity to grab some water, hydrate, reset, and then we're diving straight back into the action, so don't go anywhere. 10 lifetimes watching those two teams going at it, because 100 Thieves and NRG Shock are taking us all the way to map 3. Vicky, Cozy, we manifested that. We spoke this into existence.
Yes, I think my whole neighborhood wants to know what a Glarchox is because they keep yelling. I mean, it's been absolutely, crazy from what we've seen from both these teams. Got to give a big shout out to Winnie and the 70k bomb of healing that they were able to pull off. Cloak and Dagger, I think, is probably going to be something that NRG Shock looks at. Velocity's very good at adapting and getting this team ready for it. And I want to give a shout out to Madara because obviously the flashy play, but also just like as a player, I saw a lot from them when they were Dark Zero pre-LAN, and then at the LAN, I feel like Dark Zero struggled a little bit, but wow, really showing up today as well, Vic.
I definitely agree. When you go the distance, that's something you could expect. Like Winnie with that 65.2k out here, like still managing to make the swaps that they did and maintain like 9 KOs on their side. This is like the closest we've seen between these two teams, because we're also getting like these last minute meta swaps to also go in with a recontention on like ultimate resets that would benefit more of these faster charging characters that really were able to stall up for as long as possible. But yeah, we saw even those crazy plays from Madara. It wasn't enough though, because you're still dealing with the peak of 100 Thieves right now that are still trying to adjust themselves, with Self also being on the Namor for the very end.
Let's talk a little bit about Self and Self's performance. How do you guys feel Self is slotting into this team? Obviously, big shoes to fill. We've seen him on a variety of different heroes in different roles as well already in the series.
Yeah, honestly, the team has a different identity to it. I think it's really what it is, right? Like, I can tell that from night and day already, and it's almost more cohesive in a lot of ways. There were some times I felt like there's like some mystery heroes going on. Like we had a lot of rotations and heroes trying to find like something that clicked. I think that was just adapting. But what a Cinderella ending to what is this day to have Shin Shibuya as the last map. Are you kidding me?
I see Vicky slowly dying on camera.
That's personal bias, honestly. You know how it is. So I always gotta talk about it. These chokes are so brutal. But you know what? If the Museum of Contemplation played out like that on the attack for both of these teams, that means that Shin Shibuya's choke is going to be even more interesting to see which of these one picks is going to start off most of these fights to get through that really narrow choke.
Cozy, what do you want to see on Shin Shibuya? It's been out of the mix for such a long time. What do you expect the teams to play here?
Fun fact, shout out to Harvey, man, miss you. But Harvey and the Mutants that were now 100 Thieves won their first MRC on Shin Shibuya against what was Nightmare, then Sentinels. It was kind of the opening stage for that team to kind of blow the doors wide open and become 100 Thieves. And so, like, they're going back to their hometown, which I think they're actually completely comfortable with. Obviously, NRG picked the map, but they're like, hey, we have a lot of history in this map. Defense is going to be very heavy, which could change a lot of these picks and bans. Honestly, I kind of lean the needle towards 100 Thieves and their bans a bit more on this map, though, if they're going to stick with that same game plan. I kind of like that more. We'll have to see, though, because it also opens up the same doors of dive and a lot of playground to have fun with. If you are the aggressive type, which they are.
Do you guys expect to see the same strategy here? 100 Thieves, they pretty much banned the same stuff and protected the same stuff twice now in a row. Is it going to be like 4 strategists once more?
I think the Loki save, Vic. I think Loki might be saved. I think Loki's huge on this map. Lanterns indoors, go to the building for point 1.
Yeah, and you also, like, they protected the Mantis, I believe, very last for 100 Thieves. That was, like, the only change-up, though. But other than that, like, literally the bans against NRG was very similar to the way that they were approaching 100 Thieves specifically. So I think we stick to the game plan. It works out on Shin Shibuya a lot. It really comes down to the way that we're seeing the duelists kind of fare off against each other. You asked Zoe how we feel like what Self is doing. It's really hard to fill Terra's shoes. he's doing a great job at showcasing the flexibility. You know, if the Wolverine's not working, you got to slot into something else. We even saw Self, I believe, roll out on the attack originally. Oh, rather, it was a defense on the Mantis too, so that way you could provide that extra damage boost before we even saw the Namor swap up too. And that's what I love specifically about Marvel Rivals, right? You're not slotted into that one specific role. You have to showcase that flexibility. And TTK has been forcing out this Angela a lot. It worked out at the very end, honestly. It's very disruptive. But I want to say that Vinny really stepped up that game, and we got to see that going on to this final map.
We also got to see TTK on Emma Frost. I feel like we're just getting fan serviced here, like by both these teams. It's actually quite nice. I'm here for this. Cozy, we talked about it already in map 2, right? Heading into that one. Like, if the matches are this close, you really don't want to like just throw the scrapbook out of the window and like do something crazy here. But if they were to do something crazy, which team is more likely to like throw something weird into the mix?
Ooh, that's a great question, because I think both coaches and the decision makers both have that personality, and so you might see that a bit. You know, my guess is it's going to be coming from the side of 100 Thieves. I think they have kind of the same formula the first two, but I expect them to throw up a band that might kind of have NRG forced to make those adjustments. But, you know, one of the reasons why this is such a great defensive map is on that point 1 with that inside building, and it allows you to play a bit different. And I think 100 Thieves have a bit more of the team comp that's designed around that approach. So NRG's going to have to come up with something a bit different on their end as well.
1-1 the score. They're taking us the distance. This is map number 3 in our last series of the day. 100 Thieves versus NRG Shock.
All right, okay, I just want to say right now, Cozy, as we get set up with the best series that we've had in the day, so he asked, I want to see something crazy. Who do you think is going to kind of throw that out there? I'm just saying, like, imagine we just see Self just hover over BP. That would be quite interesting. I mean, talk about the wrench over to the side, something that maybe teams wouldn't expect, but maybe somebody could dream here. We got to see how this plays out because Gambit is still stuck in jail.
It's like the Cap coming out of the portal and the Mjolnir Avengers Assemble. It's a fan service. It's always set us up for it. We might see more of it. But no, Mantis ban going to come from 100 Thieves up top. So sticking with what they did on the last successful map. Going to go with the Elsa ban. So if you are tired of hearing Release and the Glartrox, well, buckle up. You got a whole nother round of it. This map going to be interesting, though, because there's a lot of corridors and buildings. So you don't have as long of a time. Outside of point 2, you've got that long kind of narrow, in a way that you can have the Glartrox. And you have the off the map point, but this will be tough to hit, Vic.
Yeah, the off the map, like by the health pack over to the other side of that lane, right? And okay. Okay, they saw it, and I'm happy about this. I was saying, you know, Window's been a huge problem. We literally saw all their health bars disappear before our eyes when they were originally coming out on the attack. They don't want to deal with that threat anymore, especially when it comes to trying to enable your back line.
Yeah, that was such a huge adjustment and change, to be fair. Looking at what they could do, I mean, obviously, you just said it. I mean, Window on that overtime hit showed every reason why tank pool is just so important, you know, to have down in the meta right now. And they get the Mantis save. There's the Loki ban. I would think Loki would be the ban from 100 Thieves here up top. Potentially. Venom going to be the save. I think that's huge for Moderate, obviously, what we saw in their plan of attack. They've got Jeff available, so Jeff ban would also make a lot of sense here, especially with the save. Could be a bait, though. Don't take the bait, Vic. Do they end up catching the shark or the trickster?
I feel like I would take the bait. I don't know. We're gonna see because we got the team up now available. But I don't take the bait. They don't take the bait. Yes, they don't let the devil out, and they get that final ban. No Daredevil for NRG Shock, especially when they get away with the Elsa. We've been seeing that Elsa 1v1 duel. We were calling it with the ego check between these two duelists.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, hey, Zoe just asked, what team is going to pull off the more surprising pick or ban? I had a gut feeling that Remix was cooking something up there with the team, and it really wasn't hard to do the homework on that last match. It's like, gee, well, what really gave us struggle there? The guys in red, get them out of here, and they did just that. NRG forced to adapt. We'll see what they end up putting together for the team here. It's going to be 100 Thieves on defense first. It's going to be the lineup that they've got rolling. You're going to have Self on the Namor, which I like this pick, Vic. And stick with more of the same. When are you going to go back instead? We're going to see if they go to Cloak. And okay, we got Winnie on the Invis. What they have.
Okay, TTK sticking to the Emma, it looks like, as well. Bit different, so that way you could try to choke out what you could expect from the other side if they have the opportunity. Maybe opportunity onto Chime, but if they're expecting Window to roll out on this group, you already know that TTK being on the Emma is going to be able to get that damage boosted early onto the beam just by trying to farm those walls.
Yeah, and there's going to be almost always a portal. Typically, to open up Shinshibuya, there's a lot of portal play just because of the way that this map is set up, right? So we'll see when they decide to use that. Go try now already get a little bit of a neutral hit in there. Might as well farm up that ult. Starting right away from day dot. Stinkers on the quick long-range poke. Like that, swap on over. Doesn't have access to the devil anymore. Gonna play another fire. Hero. Velocity on the Loki that we know so well. Thought maybe that would get the ban, Vic. Could aid them pretty well in this matchup.
Again, you only have so many bans, right? It's NRG who are rolling out with Velocity being on the Loki, so they'll be able to have the God of Mischief into the invisible boundary. Talk about group walls, though, and the cutoff from the strategists who do not have line of sight. Windows says, make way, I'm the one moving in here. Being on the grid is no problem, no damage boost for any Emma here for TTK to shine. Instead, it is Windows time to close out the gap and clear up this free real estate.
Yeah, and if
Another
you can
one.
try to hold it,
Another
they're not going to be able to touch, though. And yeah, now Moderate. Okay, very interesting on how they approach it. Yeah, go ahead and hide in your building, by the way, and we'll just wall it off and shut down and close every window. Vic, what a call, what a call.
He's building his own house here, and the community rolling right behind him together with the rest of Shock. I like these swap-ups, though. Okay, so together now, Delena. You said who's going to throw something out? All right, it may not be the VP that we're looking for, but it's going to be Delena on the side. Like, they're letting Self now be on the Elsa instead.
I haven't seen Delena on, it's been Midtown back in my day. It's been 87 years. No, it's been a long time since we've seen that. Vinny gonna go quick down right now. It is a stagger fest. My goodness, Shinshibuya being the newest map. NRG looking like they've practiced it a bit and why they selected it. Pushing already. Any point on this map favors the defense. And so it could be a hold at any point, but you gotta at least get a team wipe first to start that train, Vic. And right now, if you're NRG and you're ult tracking, just keep the foot on the gas and Window, get up there.
I mean, it's the fact that they burned TTK so hard that he was forced to use Diamond Form just so that way he could use the Carbon Crush to get away back to his team. These walls have been so detrimental. Let me out, Ayúdame. You look at the Kool-Aid man just trying to brute force his way out of there before you try to dive down. It's the Groot into combo together as Stinkers finds Winnie nowhere to run, not even through the invisible boundary. And that's a big pick because Winnie won't be around to utilize that strategist ultimate.
Oh my gosh, they're just having their way right now with the 100 Thieves. I mean, all locked up in jail. No one's free at the moment. And now it's just going to continue the stagger. Get out of there. Run and hide, Venom. Run and hide. And here's a quick counter that they're going to try to roll up. Delena. The slash and dash. Getting something from it now. Going to go ahead and force the ult on Rinko. That's the best they got out of it. Velocity finds success as well. And this could not be going better for Energy Shock, Vicky.
Literally a steamroll right now because they're also comboing so well into their own ultimates. And now you currently have Window who's about to have Strangling Prison. Chime too with that Apex Predator. They've been non-stop from the very beginning. They are at 4 minutes, less than 55 seconds on the clock, and they just need one more checkpoint.
Our break was 3 minutes. This is 5 minutes left on the whole dang third part of the map. So, I mean, look at this aggression pushing up early. 100 Thieves still don't have anything to the name. TTK, sure, but outside of that, really, it's going to be just complete uphill sledding. And Chime can put an end to this part of the point as well. This is the last part of the choke that's really going to favor Thieves, and they have to keep it here if they're going to have this thing even be competitive for this last part.
Look at this wild Apex Predator with the Garchers and the wall right behind him here too. Just so that way he can be in a better position. And they let Chime unleash. The shackles have been broken. The Invisible Woman is fighting for their lives, but there's only so much you can do when you're left alone, and they still have not stopped Cozy.
The aura points that NRG Shock gets, you got the portal. Now you have like the somersault cartwheel off the bridge into the Galartrox. Come on now. Just completely farming it up all day long. Chime's going to continue up in the spawn room. This is just absolutely nasty. Madara throwing out the counter portals on each point. Shinshibuya, welcome back to Ignite. My God, we missed you.
Oh, this map will drive some on the edge of their seats because nobody's there to push off. No invisible boundary. Disappear back to the other side of the map.
Time to switch things up.
3 minutes and 36 seconds left is an absolute disrespectful time to be putting up on that board. That is crazy. Coming out for NRG Shock. They did not. I think they just taped the W's down on the keyboard. Nothing. I think Winnie got a pick maybe on the first point. Like, and Delina as well, like on the second. That was it. There was nothing going Thieves' way.
I was gonna ask Cozy, like, have we ever seen 100 Thieves, even with this different iteration, like, you know what I mean, like Serum Bucks, etc. Have we seen them lose out that hard with a dominating time pool in the favor of another team? Because that was a different look entirely. I think this is exposing 100 Thieves for the lack of flexibility that they usually get to lean on when it comes to running out with the Jeff, right? Like, is this something that Winnie feels comfortable going for him? Is Self comfortable being able to flip-flop between what Delena likes to play? Because you want to enable the player who's been having that MVP performance, force Delena off, goes over to Psylocke, and then proceeded to just unfortunately get steamrolled.
I will say this, they played Sentinels long ago on Central Park, and Sentinels had a 5 minutes on the clock time. It was beautiful. It was crazy. 100 Thieves held the whole thing and ended up winning. So, I mean, I'm not saying that this same thing's going to happen here, but, you know, they've been against it maybe once before. But, yeah, this is definitely going to be tough. And here we go. We got Madara looking for some fun already as we see the eye of the portal ready to go, and there it is. Does he find Vinny? Goodbye off the map. Another one for Madara. Clip that. I'll see that on social media later.
Got it 3 of them in the last 2 games. This being the last one. I can't. I mean, can you imagine, like, the confidence boost, the momentum shifter that is as well for Madara being on the Strange right now before you see Window 2 kind of looking at Vinny. Yes, he's on the Venom, but it's like, I'm the real Groot real quick. The dip is insane when we were expecting elsewise.
No, for sure here as now Window is going to continue to rotate back into this. The skin to boot. Gotta love it here. Nothing like it but in Marvel Rivals. With the rotation over, Winnie now going to be on the Deadpool. Really opens up some of their stress that they can try to pull, and it's going to be a bit of desperation stress with that much time on the board. Here it is. They're already up and ready, trying to use that aggression with it. Vic, this is right now just a stalemate.
Okay, hold on. Seeing the flexibility, though, because we have Winnie coming through on the strap pool, and Delena following up to find Window to Staggerfest in a very different look here, but it's going to be NRG who do lose out onto number advantage in favor for 100 Thieves. And Millennia is about to have the invisible boundary. They want to save that, though, but they're playing very split up if you're looking at NRG Chocolate. Madara goes crazy with an Eye of Agamotto before diving down. Can he find one of the strategists from the back line here? He uses the Eye of Agamotto and finds Self and Vinny. That's big onto Self specifically because Millennia doesn't have invisible boundary anymore. Oh,
yeah, crazy boundary to keep things going for the team because they were right there trying to stagger the Strange when set up. Them not able to get the portal back, but Madara gets the pop on Winnie. Trades quickly. Self gonna go ahead and find the best with the green team. Vinny finds another, and just that comes yet another window open as Venom is trying his best to keep that cart there. Spider Zero will not be stopped though. Heading to the point. So not as perfectly clean, right? If you had 10s across the board for NRG Shock, there's like a couple 9s and a 10, but not a bad 0.1.
But the thing is too is that Shock are also giving 100 Thieves a little bit more time to like get set up down the lane, but Shock are also going to have that same time to look down at what 100 Thieves are going to do, whereas on the other side when Shock was on the attack, they were pushed up very far up. They were rocking the perfect composition for it, and they still have Chime In Window that could go in for a follow-up.
For sure. And NRG could just play this so different with the time that they had available and, you know, on the board there with 3 minutes, 30 seconds. They're able to play the push, the aggression that much different. Even the comp, right? Nice. Self does find Window, though, through that with the Soul Resurgent coming up with the Glar trucks to follow. This is a great job from them staying alive through it. That's going to be Winnie and Delina finding more success here. So with a old disadvantage, 100 Thieves again are able to go from 0 Thieves to like 50 at this point. They're at least getting halfway there. 3 minutes, 34 seconds, Vic.
Again, Winnie with the flexibility here does have that trap pool ultimate ready to go. S here already. Looking at NRG and what they have in store, though, they don't really have any of those offensive ults just yet. No God of Mischief actually very close together with Renko, where they could utilize that Venn diagram with a double invis ult, whereas TTK searching for his victim before getting the scoop of the shish kebab as they want to stop the Elsa. Beautiful protects here for TTK. The controller player himself now tries to get in the follow-up. Another wall to allow them to try to reposition here, but it's going to be Window who gets harassed the most.
crazy that no one fell through that Glartrox too, because they got a good bit from it. Now forced to go ahead and rotate all the way back. Here is 100 Thieves. They were moments away from this point, and that is exactly really what NRG just needs to do to end up winning this thing decisively. Gonna go ahead and now put the pedal on the metal. Invisible Boundary used aggressively. You love to see it. Winnie already using that ult earlier, and that was the one they relied on. TTK's got ult and Heaven Retribution, but time is ticking.
Honestly, Velocity really had no other choice there, though. He popped the God of Mischief very early, unnecessarily, and kind of just put it down so that way it doesn't go entirely to the waste. But could have held on to it, honestly, seeing how they were able to restabilize here. Renko at least has that Invisible Boundary, and he's going to try to match that with Millennia.
Yeah, this is where it gets tough, though. 2 minutes left, and you've got yourself some windows of opportunity. Oh, his window on the other side and Chime to follow. Really, they're just trying to stay alive to get even odds in the ult economy-wise. Heaven Falls, Retribution ready to go. TTK hunting that backline, the Phoenix in particular. Seeing what else they can find, but right now just has to rotate out. I mean, there's not much they can do here, Vic.
I am Groot, though. You follow up the Glartrox. That's the bubble combo we're looking for. Put him through the Invisible Boundary. Benny, with some whiplash, gets saved for now. Backs away. He's still alive. W Invisible Boundary here from Millennia, at least to help him out. And also called out exactly where the Glartrox would try to put him so he could at least get the extra health.
Now, that was a magic trick, though, right? We saw Delena throw their Glartrox in, and then out comes Chimes, and then Vinny gets it. I'm like, what did we just witness come from the Invisible Boundary? But just like this, yet again, another pick happens, and it is NRG taking it to 100 Thieves. The favorite in the region, showing why they need to be feared in this group of death. I mean, this is why it's a group of death, Vic, and why every team has such a huge shot to show what they can do.
And something else that we have to pinpoint, Cozy, I just saw it there with Madara. They have the team up, the new season team up between the Doctor Strange and the Invisible Woman. To pull in the extra damage there really have benefited themselves into just a slight stagger. He's got the Eye of Agamotto. You know Madara's hungry. I saw him jump up in the air, and everyone knows that's when the Doctor Strange wants it the most. But Stinkers with a beautiful snipe. Phoenix still on the table is able to get another pick.
Yeah, Mental's in the dumpster right now. You got to completely turn this thing around and try to keep yourself alive. Now 42 seconds, have to play absolutely perfect, but nothing to give. I mean, look at even their choices on the ult front. NRG's got enough to bring down a graphics card, while 100 Thieves just has Winnie himself, right? So just trying to stay this thing go.
Is it gonna be enough? Maybe cut the mouse while they're at it here as well. See if they can take any advantage, because they got everything in the books. Renko's close to that Invisible Boundary. Velocity's got the God of Mischief ready. And 100 Thieves don't have their own Invisible Boundary. They need to get big on this wombo combo between Vinny. Vinny's going to be able to try to get the follow-up right afterwards here with the Deathpool before diving down and Song Inferno for a reset. Well, Vinny goes down, though. 100 Thieves only down to 5 of these members.
Soul Resurgence keeps him up a bit, and here comes the Agamotto available, but 50% in cut is just cannot be enough. TTK trying to get something from this ult, and with it, time is ticking down. 100 Thieves in desperation mode. Glartrox comes out, does find that prey. There's the side to be out, but going to catch the building. Now coming back to the point to the boundary, kept alive. Chime finds one, Winnie's down. More to follow. Self gets another. Vicky, right now, NRG is shocking every 100 of those Thieves. It's over.
100 KOs, maybe, as 100 Thieves bow out in the best series of the day to end our first day of America's Within Marvel Rivals Ignite.
March Madness, Marvel Madness, I'm burning all my brackets. I mean, at this point, you don't know what you're going to get, and I'm all about it here in the America region. What a performance, and what an opening day across the matches, but especially from the teams that needed to show exactly who they are. Man, I'm sure NRG Shock is absolutely just thrilled to bring on that huge W for the team.
Imagine they're saying, put some respect on those predictions, right? We got our eyes bookmarked on everybody else, like we heard earlier from Spark Team, right? And then now you get to take a look at the results. Velocity. Cozy, I think you highlighted this so perfectly before we dove into this game. You said Loki, surely, right? Like, we'll get the protect on the Loki if you want to come out of this. Velocity going onto this Loki helped out so much. It felt like we were still playing hero magical chairs here, music chairs, on the 100 Thieves side, trying to see what slotted in, what works out, even rocking the triple strategist in a different variation than what we may have expected would have benefited them with the Jeff.
No, for sure. It's a game of adjustments too, right? It's like, all right, hey, Window, you don't get to play Deadpool. Stinkers, no more Daredevil for you. And they're like completely fine. I mean, Stinkers didn't give a dang about the devil on that one. 25K damage up and 10 eliminations out. That was not just a win, it was a firm statement across the board of this team. And we saw it, and we've talked about this so much. You know, it's interesting because you have some teams with a lot of talent all come together from different teams of the past. And then what's the makeup of that new squad? This is definitely one that, to me, is singing in harmony.
Yeah, I agree. And then you take a look like at the way that they were able to play around the strat line too. Chime, who, by the way, went down twice. Like, when you take a look at how dominating that was, not only did Thieves struggle to even get that payload moving, but it was that one area going down the lane I know is so difficult when you aren't able to get preemptively set up too.
Yeah, you know, as a core group too, you know, a lot of them coming from Dreamland, it's like, wow, they've evolved a lot as players as well. I mean, obviously you had Valentina go somewhere else, and now you have Velocity coming in with, you know, Rinko as their new backline, and they proved it. Zoe, I mean, are you stunned? Are you shocked?
No, I'm not shocked. Thank you. Good job. Well done.
I tried.
So proud of himself too. No, but I mean, like, heading into this last match, quite frankly, like, I liked what I saw from 100 Thieves a lot more in terms of like their ban and lock like strategy. I felt like, okay, like this looks a little more convincing than NRG Shock, just having the attack round of a lifetime, like so much time left in the bank at the very end of it. They made it look easy, which is crazy to say as they went up against 100 Thieves.
It's not a lot of time that we could call something early, but with 3 minutes on the board, I mean, it is being down, you know, a lot, because you have so much to overcome. And kind of what I was saying mid-match there, you're able to play different defensively once you have such a great offensive time, right? Like, you're able to be a bit more aggressive here, or maybe make a little bit of a change there. And I think that also just aids the play style of NRG Shock in general too, Vic.
Yeah, I agree, because now you also, I feel like, have way more slots that are able, and by slots I mean like the players are able to kind of influence what these changes are looking like, and a lot more diversity, at least from NRG side. And we got to talk about like the individual plays that force staggers at the hands of Madra. He literally just took him somewhere else to a different dimension. Very true to the theme, because you were talking about the Ninetales earlier, but straight up put them in the Genjutsu, and he kept them there on the Strange with these portals.
There are so many fantastic moments from the individuals. I mean, it was Chime time as well, right? Some slick acrobatics on Elsa. It's just every individual, I feel like, on that team had their time in the sun. It was a lot of highlight-worthy plays.
Yeah, and again, just impressed on the player standpoint as we continue to kind of highlight individuals. Like, I kind of knew what 100 Thieves was going to bring in some sense of the word, but individually, Madara, Window, the way that they've shown that they've improved as a team, even like where there are some like Stinkers and Velocity and knew how good they were as players, even showed a level up, as well as Chime. So it impressed me individually, not only as a team, how they've adjusted in, you know, the break that we've had going all the way back to November and what that esports year was.
Yeah, and you guys just mentioned him at the very end of the game. Velocity was the MVP. The Loki really helped out greatly in this match. So Velocity will be the one joining us for a quick chat after this dominant way to finish this last map. The series went the distance. It's been an absolute blast. So I can't wait to pick our players' brain and just get a little bit of insight in the adjustments that had to be made, or the general approach against 100 Thieves. I mean, we know what to expect from those individual players.
I'm not shocked as Velocity taking the interview. I'm going to be honest. I definitely knew that this king was going to come up here and say, what's going on? Let's welcome him in right now. Velocity, what's up, brother? It's been too long. It's been too long. How you feeling, man?
Hello. It's been a while. Yeah, how are you, dude?
Oh, dude, doing great. But I mean, watching you guys, I mean, you can't even call you underdogs with that performance. We knew that you guys had so much talent. I got to ask, man. I mean, Shib and I were talking a lot about this. Like, I think the talent is there. What's the identity of this new team, man? You know, with what you guys have put together.
So we started off a little rocky. I think we were like a big brawl team. We were relying on Stinker's Wolf and Chime's Phoenix and my Loki, and we were playing a lot of brawl. And then we were like, brawl is kind of terrible right now. Like, we got to swap it up. So we've been spamming dive for like a month now, and I think we are maybe the best dive team in North America right now. We've been beating a lot of people in the past week, Scrimbucks, but we're gonna show that we are a little more versatile. But yeah.
Hell yeah,
I
bro.
mean, the scrim books have been actually like accurate. We were looking at Swap Gaming just earlier, and that's actually like I think your next opponents for like day number 3 or so, if I recall correctly. But it's the way that you guys were playing, and you said that you were working on what you felt like was your weaker point to get better on dive. It took you guys about a month, and you guys got your practice in. You look fantastic. I mean, I'm curious, what is your thought on Shin Shibuya coming back into the fray, especially that being like the closer of the day?
We wanted to go a dive map there because we knew that they did not want to play against our dive. So it was a smart play. Me and Tenso were like, let's go Shin Shibuya, because they have to ban Daredevil on that map. It's just too strong on that map. So and then we know we're better than them at front to back. So that's kind of the idea behind it. But I'm a big Shin Shibuya fan. I think it's fun for poke. I think dive can work on it, and as you saw, brawl in front to back can work on it. So I think it's a good map.
Spoken like a Loki player.
Yeah, it is a Loki map. Yeah, big Loki map.
Well, we've been super excited to see it back in the mix and then already seeing it in play on that first day. Now, this has been a close series though. Like, it was a back and forth, like across the board, all 3 maps. When the series gets that close and the pressure is at a boiling point, the comms can either get very chaotic or they get really clinical. Who in your team is the one who's kind of leading the charge on mid-round adjustments, and what is the message to the team to keep everyone like calm and locked in?
I would say definitely today I was like very chill, very calm. You know, I've been in these games before now, thankfully, because I've been playing for the last year. And I remember last 2 fights of the game, I was just like, chill out. Like, they have this all, this all, this all. We respond with this all. We can start first with Groot all. It's just like, it was very clinical from the team's like side of things, and they always listen to what I'm saying, even if it's a stupid idea. So. Yeah, I think I kept everyone chill. I think the passion and the hype is great, and it always comes out. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Can I ask you, by the way, Velocity, what were the comms like when Madara just like opened up his third eye, literally, like with Doctor Strange, and was getting like portal play after portal play? He did it like 3 different times between the second map and the third map.
He's the doctor, man. He is the doctor. He's the doctor. He invented that whole like TP like kind of strategy. So I remember on our museum, which we lost because I think we trolled really hard. But I was like, you can counter TP, and they literally didn't even want to TP because they knew Madara was counter TPing. So there's just no chance that they get around that. And then he ended up getting one anyways. He's like, I could maybe kidnap one. So yeah, it's great. It's great to have someone who knows exactly what he's doing with the portal, I will say.
Yeah, those clutch moments. It's been so entertaining to watch you and the crew playing today. We can't wait to see what you guys have in store for us coming up.